Alright guys, I got to retake this video because I did a nice one for you guys, and when I went to send it, it wasn't on the phone anymore. I don't know what's going on. But what we got right now is our final quickie port, going through port number 2. The plenum is just cleaned up a little bit with some clay around the edge, and this is what we can get out of it at 435, 36, 37, 437 lift. Now, as you remember, the longer ones didn't flow quite as well as the shorter ones. I did a little more work to it. I got it up around 205. And I did a bunch of experimentation with the plenum. And if this thing will stay paused for me for a little bit, I will show you what I came up with. And you can either agree or disagree, because it may change when the spacers get here. I'm not sure. The dual plane already got some epoxy in place because I made a hole through the bottom, so it needed epoxy no matter what, and I had to fill in those EGR holes. Now, epoxy isn't going to be good enough if the exhaust crossovers are left open. It would have to be closed up. We can have that discussion at a later date. Best way to do that. But you can see I just put some clay around to make a little dam, and I just put a blob of JB Weld mixed with a ton of aluminum to give it some body, and I'm going to grind in my shapes for that. It will not be easy because there's not a lot of maneuvering room on inside that plenum, so that's kind of going to stink. So I'm going to pause you guys, and I'm going to put the inserts that I designed in here and see what we got. Okay, because experiments are this way, the domes that I had made up fell apart, so I had to make new clay domes. So this is what you get if you put one dome in. Now, right now, this dome is not very high. It's maybe 3/8 of an inch off the floor. And you have to remember, these already have about an 1/8 inch protrusion off the floor, so they're relatively thin. But watch what happens to our flow. Okay, we lost a few CFM. Now I'm going to build another dome on the other circle. Let's see what we got. Okay, trying to do this quick so the camera will actually stay paused. Let's see if it makes any difference having two small domes in the plenum. Okay, that made a little difference. Now, before we go up any further, I've got a decent amount of experience with plenum inserts. I started in the 80s. Throttle body injection stuff. And if you know anything about throttle body injection stuff, it does not atomize the fuel very well. It squirts it out in streams, literally. So if you look at the bottom of a throttle body injection manifold, it already has something like this. As a matter of fact, I have TPI right over here. Okay, as you can see, it's got a recess in the floor, and it has ridges in there. What that's designed to do is catch any fuel that falls out of suspension and leaves it there till the exhaust crossover can heat it up and evaporate it out. So what I did is I took that idea and I made it a dome, and then I did something to it that I thought would help evaporate the fuel, and it seems to work really well. I'm not going to show you my design because I hope someday I'll actually get it patented. But I took a design everyone knows of. We'll go back. Okay, I decided to use a golf ball finish. Now, this is nothing new inside a Plenum of a carbureted or even fuel-injected intake manifold. Now, the theory of a golf ball, actually, I think how the actual golf ball started out was when they first started playing the game, they noticed the old balls that had all nicks all over them would fly further. So they did some work on it, and before you know it, they discovered that those little divots in the surface of the ball, when the ball is going through the air, what those little divots do is they cause a wake behind them. They make a little bit of turbulence. And what that turbulence does is it makes it slipperier through the air. It changes the boundary layer. It gives it a thicker boundary layer. So the theory is, air on air is better than air on whatever solid we're talking about. So the theory with this is if that adds a little bit of turbulence and makes the floor of this a little slipperier, we should get a little bit of a boost in our CFM. Now, these are not my original domes. My original domes were a little bit lower than this. And the height of this plenum is very, very shallow. Okay? So, it's... When I did a ton of insert testing on here, the higher stuff ate up too much airflow because you have so little room to turn. Okay? So I made the divots with my favorite pointer, which is an old paintbrush. See if it makes any difference. Worked out better in my last video. We got about 208 out of it. I could probably lower them a little bit more and try again. But I think you guys get the idea. It does make it a little bit better. Is it a huge advantage? No. Is it worth my time putting some epoxy on the floor and doing that? I think it will be, because every single CFM is going to matter on this Mission Impossible project. What else did I need to talk to you guys about? Hold on, let me think about it. DV asked me for some flow sheets and so forth on this project, so I guess he's going to do some type of insert with the progress that's been done on the heads. That'll be interesting. He wanted me to do a video, but I don't know how I can get it to him. I'm not that savvy with this stuff as of right now. I told him, I said he can go on YouTube and he can download any of my stuff. That's not a problem. But I don't know if he wants to spend the time to search through all my junk to find what he needs. All right, guys, I'm going blank on what else we wanted to cover tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up. Completely burnt out. Sorry. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I need to eat something, I think. I'm getting low blood sugar. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Okay, I almost forgot. DV has a video where he's doing something very similar to this to the plenum of an intake, just using a drill bit. And he's doing divots like this. So I'm not going to pretend it's my idea. It's not. My idea is a little different than that. But the domes, I've been using those since the 80s. And I really like them in a manifold like a Victor Jr. because you can give the dome a little bit of height. And it was nice, especially in the Chevelle, because I ran a Victor Jr. and I had real-time air-fuel ratio. So I could see right away the difference it made. I also did it with carbs. It was interesting with carbs. When I would put my plenum insert in, we had to take fuel out for the jetting. And we'll leave that as a question. Why do you think I had to take jets out from carbureted applications doing a dome with special surface texture? And the surface texture is designed to reatomize any liquid fuel. All right, what I did is I flattened these out a little bit more, and you see I got almost 208 that I got last time I did this. So they like a very low dome, and the dome with the divots flows a little bit more than without the divots. So not a complete waste of time, and kind of fun to experiment with. You notice the flag is a little calmer. It definitely makes a difference than the plenum without anything in it. The flag is more erratic. All right, guys, I think I got everything. Oof. Can't wait to go put my feet up. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Good night.